There we go. There we go. What's up, fight fans? We got some announcements here. I just wanted to get hop on and get some announcements here. So I'm gonna let a couple of you join the live stream, and I'm gonna get set up here. Why isn't my live stream coming up? Here we go. And I'm gonna get set up here. Is that too low? Why isn't my live stream coming up? Here we go. And I'm gonna get set up here. Why is that so low? Is that too low? Why isn't my live stream coming up? Check that out right now. Here we go. And I'm gonna get set up here. Why is that so low? Is that too low? How you guys seeing me out there? Everything good? Seems like it's low. How you guys seeing me out there? Everything good? Yeah, there we go. Let's just turn that mic up a little bit right there, right? Make sure that seems like it's low. Yeah, there we go. What up? That mic up a little bit right there, right? Make sure that all right, fight fans, let's get it popping. What's up, YouTube family? And we're back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I'm your host, Edwin, and I got a lot to share with you guys. And let's talk about it. Let's get right to it. Are we or are we not going to the Subriel Matias fight? Yes, we are. We got tickets to the fight. I went and got my tickets. My girl didn't let me go crazy. I wanted to get like the front row ones. They was like 500 a piece. So it'd have been 1,000 for me and her, and plus a lot of tax. It'd have been like almost like somewhere between 1,200, somewhere around there for the tickets. So I got a little bit pushed back, you know what I mean? But I got the $200 ones, right? So I'm right there. I'm right there. I'm in row I'm in section 103, seat 13, and well, I'm gonna be in seat 14. She'll be in seat 13. Yeah, I mean, listen, I was trying to convince her to, take one for the team. Why don't we just convert your ticket into my ticket and I'll sit in the front row and you can chill outside by the second stand, right? Just hang out there for a little while. It's not long. It's only from 5 o'clock to midnight. You'll be fine. Yeah. Hey, yo, you don't really want to watch the fight, babe. Like, come on, man. Like, nah, I can't do that, right? I gotta take it with me. Yo, so we're going to the fight. We're going to the fight. I got up, bought my tickets. Um, I got a good view to the ring. According to the ring, like I try to like pull up like the ring, like around it. I would have to go to like the arena. So what I'm gonna do is later I'm gonna go on and see how far I am from the hotel to the arena and everything else like that. But basically, from what I saw on the ticket thing, right? So basically, what you're gonna have, this is basically how it is, right? Yeah. All right. All right. Basically, it's like this. If you could understand this, I'm actually a really good drawer, but right now, my shit is shit right now. Let me just tighten it up. Tighten it up. All right. This is where we at. Peep it. This is the issue. Dang, you ain't gonna be able to see that. Front row, like the people at ringside are sitting like right there, right? And then the first row of chairs is right here. I'm like right here. And then the balcony seats would be like back here somewhere. And then the arena starts to, go all the way around and shit. But these are the first rows right here. And then this is ringside, and that's the ring. So I'm like right here. That's where I'm at. So I'm not really far away from the ring, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be like right there, so that's pretty cool. Um, the thing is that the next section over is where everybody, the who's is gonna be in that next section. And I'm gonna try to get up and walk around and shit and see if I can get myself a little closer. You know what I mean? Right? But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I got up this morning. I called my mans and them, and I officially told them that I got my tickets and stuff. He's on his way to New York right now to deal and take care of some other business. So the wheels are being put in motion right now. Later on, as we get closer to the fight, we'll start chopping it up some more, and I'll more or less know where I stand in a lot of these situations that I would like to be in. So yeah, yeah, I'm excited now. So now everything's official. My hotel's set, my reservations are set, and my tickets are all set. So um yeah, let me I'm not sure if let's see here. Okay. Like right here for instance, they sing uh this is I'm gonna block this part out. Well, yeah, this is the tickets right here, right? To the Subriel Matias thing, right? So and then they send you like this. Boom. And then this is like the actual tickets. That's one ticket and that's two tickets like that. That's so I got it like basically on my phone. But it's not showing me the arena. I would have to go to the thing to show the arena. All those are all the events. Yeah, man. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see this fight. Now, this fight is big in so many ways. We all talked about it. A lot of fighters are coming after Subriel Matias. They want to crack at that belt. There are a lot of men that will go the IBF way. And let's talk about this. Let's just talk about this. If you haven't ever noticed this, right? Okay. For instance, where is the WBO's main headquarters? The WBO's main headquarters is in Puerto Rico, right? Okay. That means that you would think that a lot of fighters from Puerto Rico would be representing or going after their belt and their organization and their structure. But what happened at a long, long time ago, the WBO wasn't considered a real major world title for a long time. So there was a lot of relationships established with the IBF organization with Puerto Rican fighters. The one thing about the IBF that I we talked about this, they cater to a lot of the fighters. You know, the B side fighters, the A side fighters. You know, if you're winning your fights, they will give you a shot at their belt, right? So a lot of Puerto Rican superstars, if you haven't noticed, a lot of them had the IBF title. Multiple of the our legends, in fact, if not all of them, had at one point in time, our champions had the IBF title. From Felix Trinidad to Miguel Cotto to all of them have had that belt at one point or another. And you would think that Subriel Matias would have gone after the WBO because he would rub elbows with the Puerto Rican organization, but it's not like that, you know, because a lot of fighters go for the IBF when they want to fight a fair fight. When they feel like, you know, if you're not really like a weight bully and you're not coming in overweight, or you're a really big man that can cut a lot of weight, and you're just going in there fighting against smaller guys, right? The IBF organization says, well, okay, it is a skill, but it'll only be a 10-pound skill for our belt. Meaning, we want an even playing field. If you're a natural 140 pounder, then that's where you should be fighting. And there's only a 10-pound fluctuation for that belt. You know, they want boxers and fighters to all fight at an even playing field. They don't want you cutting 30, 20 pounds, 25 pounds and coming in the next night 20 pounds over. You know, that's a little excessive. You know, and since every man can't do that, you know, you would be at a disadvantage. But by fighting through the IBF structure, it guarantees you a little of a even playing field, where that if you weigh in the day before at 140, the maximum weight you can come in is 150. 1 pound over disqualifies you from being having the ability to win their belt on that night. Just 1 pound over. Yeah, you're no longer qualified to win their belt, but the other guy can stand to lose it. You see? So the IBF structure has always been like that, which ironically, you know, Richard Hitchison, you know, comes out of the fight, and now he says, you know, after he fought an IBF eliminator, that might not be the route for him. Hmm. Yeah, I see why, kid. Okay? Because the guy they put him in against, I really believe Subriel Matias would have destroyed. And that guy gave him everything and more. So as of right now, Richard Hitchison is not ready for a man like that. I understand it was a title eliminator to prepare for the future, but Subriel Matias, I think he has his eyes on other prizes, or at least Ed Hearns is going to try to, you know, make some of these fights happen. When you got a big promotional company and Ed Hearns is rocking with them Saudis like this. You know, Ed Hearns was the first man out there in Saudi, you know, one of the biggest promoters. You know, he had his hand inside some of them fights. You know, he had got Anthony Joshua out there, you know. So and they're inviting him back. So Ed Hearns is doing business with them. You know, as far as Pitbull Cruz, the only roadblock I see in that is the PBC. As you know, um, the PBC works with Top Rank, and they've done business with Top Rank, you know, but it's never really worked out in the favor for the BBC. It's never been really good for them as far as fighters anyway. Money wise, I have no idea what goes on behind the scene. I'm not qualified to speak on something like that. But as far as their fighters going up against top ranked fighters and like their record or who won, it's like a landslide. It's not even close. Top Rank has dominated PPC fighters throughout the courses of years. Yeah, it's not even, they're not even, It's ridiculous the amount of fights. I forget what it is. But I know that the PBC only won 4 fights. I know that. It's like 4 and like fucking some outrageous shit like 62 or 67 or some 64 or some shit. It's like 4 and 64, some shit like that. Might be a little low, but it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's not even competitive where that when every time they put fights together, top ranked fighters dog them. So I know that the PBC has history with working with Top Rank. Now with the PBC work with the other promotional companies, they're a little tied up for that. And in order to get Subriel to fight Isa Pitbull Cruz, there's gonna be a lot of there's gotta be a lot of hurdles. And Ed Hearns is not gonna want to fight on another platform because he's got the zone. He's signed with the zone. He can't break that. And that's why it's a big hurdle between the promotional companies. If Esau Pitbull Cruz somehow, some way can get away from that, I don't know. But that's the only reason why. But let me find out it's not because of a lack of the men wanting to fight. It's that um Al Heyman has a history of just when it comes to like work, he just, oh, yeah, 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 I'll put the fight together. He has no intention on doing it. No intention on doing it. No. No man is gonna break their contract and get sued by their TV rights just to it had to everybody has to get paid. And the only people that I could see that can pull that off are those Saudis. As you can see, the Saudis are after Terence Crawford big time right now. And they're in a high stake game of chess right now for that WBO title that Sebastian Fundora got. It hasn't been official that he's vacated that belt, even though he had until March 25th, it was, to start negotiation with Terence Crawford. But soon before those negotiations took place, he all he has to do is really bluff. Tim Zoo, give him a call. Yeah, we'll start, but I'm suspended into September type shit. So you figure it out. They're like passing the puck to each other. Because as of right now, you know, um, I've heard people say, nah, he vacated the belt. And I heard other things say, no, he hasn't yet. It's not official, right? He's still technically the WBO champion. So, uh, but the Saudis want Terence Crawford, and they're trying to please the masses and give everybody what they want in order to get that. But I don't think they're going to get Terence Crawford versus Sebastian Findora. I actually think Terence Crawford might fight the newly acquired WBA champion at 154. Yeah, I think he might go that way because the Saudis are kicking around his name, and so we're gonna see what happens with that. Like I said in the previous interview, I'm excited for Duran Boots Ennis and what happens from here. I haven't seen him in the ring for quite some time, and I can't wait to see him. So I really would like to see Duran Boots Ennis back in the ring. Um, Look, guys, Javante Davis looks great. He looks amazing. We got Ryan Garcia entering the ring with Devin the Dream Haney. Devin the Dream Haney always looks amazing during this time in his training camp. He is really fucking focused, that kid. I gotta give it to Devin Haney, no matter what, bro. It's tough. It's tough being a kid that young like that, like him, and coming across all this shit, bro. Being the decorated champion, millions of dollars, women hanging all over you. He's not a bad looking dude, you know, no Diddy, you know, and he it must be tough to stay disciplined, to stay focused, to get up out of bed when you sleep on silk sheets. and to go out jogging and to go training and to do the little things that got you here, not to cut corners. You get more money, you get all this equipment, and you think I could run on the treadmill. Treadmill running is not like real jogging. I don't give a fuck how long you run on that treadmill. It's not the same thing. It's not. And you start to cut corners. And Devin Haney, it seems like in every training camp so far, he's trying newer things and he's pushing himself more to the limit. And he's doing all the things that got him here and remind him, and he touches up on the things that he needs to touch up. You know, that's impressive for a young athlete like himself. There's a lot of things you can be doing in this world with all that money. And there's so many distractions and so many people pulling you and calling you in different directions. And then you're trying to, like, everybody around you got their hand out. And you got to be like a lot of people's saviors. Thank God for your father to take a little bit of that pressure off, because your father's no slouch. Had it not been for a father like Devin Haney's father, he had a couple bucks coming out of prison, and he saw something in his son. And for him to take that risk like that, he must have, everybody was telling him, yo, your kid is special. And he said, yo, we going to put everything into you. They live house to house type shit, for a little while and bounced around here and there. And it all paid out in the end. Devin Haney was, he lived the kind of fighter, whether you know a lot about him or not. His father kept his thumb on that kid for a long time. And he got to that point with his father and son where Devin Haney was like, Dad, nah, man, I'm my own man type shit. And they had to come around full circle again, because Devin Haney was naive to a lot of the world for a long time. He wasn't like your typical neighborhood kid. No, it was, gym, home, gym, home, gym, home. You know, he hung around a lot of thugs. He hung around a lot of tough people, but he really wasn't brought up in that life. Devin Haney wasn't on no corner, no gang member. He wasn't none of that shit. He was just, his father had a vision for him. And once you get all that money, man, that could fuck a kid up. The world can swallow you up. You get away from your father and you run out there. I've seen it many, many times where that father and son's duels, and the son gets away from the dad. And then, sometimes it turns out good, sometimes it turns out bad. Not all the time I could say it turned out bad. Floyd left his dad. He did just okay. He did just fine, you know. But yeah, and Devin Haney looks amazing right now. I was watching some of his training video, some of his drills that he's running. I saw him running in the sand with a couple other fighters, and really outdoing them. And the young boys are looking at Devin Haney and seeing what it takes to be Devin Haney and what it takes to be that kind of fighter. And that's really good when you can pass that down to other fighters. So this is going to be a very exciting fight. Like I always say, we never really know too much of what we're going to get out of Ryan Garcia. We know what we're going to get out of Devin Haney, right? But Ryan can really stand to shock the night. He can bring a lot of excitement with his speed, that check hook. Devin Haney's no fool. The world knows about Ryan Garcia's check hook. So I think he's going to try to take that away from him and make Ryan Garcia fight another fight. He's going to make Ryan Garcia show him, show me something. What else do you got besides speed and a little check hook? Is your head still in the sky? Has Ryan Garcia corrected that flaw that all the way into his last previous fight was still showing, where that some point in the fight he starts to just go like this and his head is straight up, you know? That's how Tank Davis caught him, Luke Campbell caught him, and has he corrected some of these flaws in his fighting? So I believe Devin Haney is gonna nullify his check hook, and he's gonna try to take away his jab, and he's gonna try to have Ryan Garcia open up. He's gonna show me what you got to Ryan Garcia, and let's see what Ryan Garcia, how much better he has gotten, and can he make the kind of reads not to fall in the traps that Devin Haney is setting for him? Because I believe Devin Haney's gonna set a lot of traps for young Ryan. You know, they're both young, but Devin Haney is obviously the more skilled veteran. What's up, baby? How you doing? Can we get some likes up, please? Absolutely. Let's just click that like button. So, yeah, those are some of the biggest fights that are coming up right now. You know, we got the Jack Catterall and the Josh Taylor fight. You know, it's a little bit out a ways too. The one of the biggest fight that I can't wait to see is Luis Pantera Nares against Naoya Inoue, the Japanese fighter. I can't wait to see that man back in action inside of the ring. He's one of the most electrifying boxers right now in all of boxing. There are very few men and women that are like elite fighters in their games. Terence Crawford, fighters like, you know, Tank is slightly under, but he is up there. Fighters like that. There are not many of them that are complete fighters. Japan got a real one in this kid right here, and he will be fighting in the Tokyo Arena in Japan. May 6th, his brother Takomi will be also fighting on that card. Jason Maloney would also be fighting and making a title defense on that card in Japan. In fact, there's going to be 4 titles, I believe, on the line on that night. So that's going to be a really exciting fight for the lower weight divisions, and it's going to answer a lot of questions because after that fight, depending on how the fight comes out, I believe that the Japanese superstar will be successful on that night. My man right here, and I think that he will be making an announcement because the world wants to know what his plans are after this. Does he move up to 126? Is he staying at 122? And like in my previous video, I was discussing the options with Javante Tank Davis. You know, seeing that Javante, it's been quite some time since I've seen him with abs. Okay, people are trying to drag him out to the much bigger weight divisions. I see that he's, you know, where he started Muslim, his religion. Maybe he's starting to get focused in life and more serious with the fight. And maybe he sees what I see, that a potential fight in the near future with the Japanese superstar can be a big mega fight. But like I discussed in my previous video, one of them will have to be a champion. Naoya Inoue moves up to the 126. Javante Davis makes a title defense at 135. Gets fully dedicated. His next fight fights Vasily if he wants to. Just in a good world, right? Because I believe that'll be a big money fight too. Then goes down to try to get it. Cut the extra 5 pounds. He really pushes himself, really stays disciplined to his diet, knocks off 5 pounds, and secures one belt at 130. And I believe 4 more pounds from the Japanese superstar from 126 to 130. I believe we can get ourselves a fight with only 4 more pounds. And that would be a massive fight, but it would have to be for a world title. So Javante Davis would have to secure himself a world title, or they would have to fight for a vacant world title. That's another option. See, so wouldn't necessarily have to be the champion. That's another option. You see, he can be at 135, chilling, never even entered the 130. But say to the Japanese superstar, I'll cut the extra 5 if you gain 4. You see? And I'll meet you at 130 for a vacant belt if there was a vacant belt at 130 or something, right? So he'll gain 4, he'll lose 5. We got ourselves a fight. That's another option. You see? But I believe that Javante Tank Davis's future fights might lie back there. And so when the Japanese superstar finishes up his affairs with Luis Pantera Nares, we're more or less gonna find out where that superstar and what his future looks like and where he's headed. Whether he stays there, whether he moves up. You know, and quiet as it's is kept, he has a habit. He's done this before. He's jumped past a weight division entirely. He has done that. So, um, who knows? Will he skip right past the 126 and hop into 130? It sounds crazy, but it also sounded crazy when he did it. When he jumped like I think it was like from 108 to 115, he skipped by a whole weight division. You see, so he's done it. He's not scared to do these kind of things. And if the money is right and there's a belt still on the line, you can entice people to take risk like this. Javante Davis went all the way up to 140 and fought Mario Barrio for an interim belt. He was taking those kind of risks, those kind of big risks and everything. So, yeah, man, I can see that the screen on the other side is still lagging. Kind of lagged out there for me. I saw it. But I'm gonna have to check up on this software and see what's going on with this whole shit. Maybe reset everything, or maybe find another platform or something. But I'm gonna figure this shit out because I don't like that lagging shit, that glitching shit. Or maybe it's just on my end. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, these are some of the things. What's up? All right, thank you for joining in. Yeah, buddy. I'm just was just hopping on real quick, make a short video. Then I started talking about boxing. You know how I do. I get to chopping it up. But yeah, man, I got the tickets. So I will be heading out there. I will be getting some pictures. Hopefully, you know, maybe some autographs from it depends who's there and what I can get. But I can't wait for that and share that all with you guys. Um it's a funny feeling, right? Because it's during my birthday, right? So I'm actually getting older at the same time. Yeah, I think I turned 27 at that time. Yeah, about 27. Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait, you know, and I can't wait to share this experience with you guys. Absolutely. You know. So yeah, guys, we have some big fights and there was something else I had written down that I knew that I had to share with you guys too, because I'm always writing things down everywhere, and then I forget where I write them down at. Oh, maybe I got the wrong pad. Just want to make sure that on some of the top stories that I'm not forgetting to bring anything to you guys' attention. Um, do you guys think that really Connor Ben would even fight Jerron Boots Ennis? He wants to fight fucking Chris Eubanks Jr., but it's not gonna happen because they fucking took Conor Ben's boxing license in the UK. So he's banned from the UK because the UK has acknowledged that the substance that he put in his body, it was a fucking steroid. It was a PE, and they're not buying his excuse. So technically, he is still banned out of the UK. So all Conor Ben's fights you're gonna see now are gonna be in the US until he can go back home. Because he would not be fighting in the US had it not been because his license is revoked as a boxer out there. And there's loopholes around these kind of shit. You see how it is that he technically is suspended for popping dirty from a banned substance in the UK, but since UK and United States laws and boxing things are different, So he just came out to the United States. Same kind of shit that's happening with Tyson Fury, the heavyweight champion. The reason why in all this shit started in the first place, right, was because Tyson Fury couldn't fight in the US. He couldn't fight in Las Vegas. They pulled their visas. His fathers, him, his brothers, all of them dudes got their visas pulled. You see? And so when they wanted to make the fight for Tyson Fury, they made it in Saudi out there because he can go out there and fight and he can fight where he's at, but he's not going to make Vegas money. So Tyson Fury can't come to the United States of America. So that's why they putting these fights. So a lot of those things are boxers trying to make their way around their either behavior or whatever caused them um to get suspended, you know, uh doing PEs and shit that you're banned. That's just like Luis Nari's coming into the Japanese superstars fight. Almost same scenario. He's banned out of Japan for well, the final nail in the coffin was him coming in overweight because technically he didn't get banned for testing positive on the type of PE he got caught for. Seeing that the fact that the type of PE that he got caught for wasn't a performance enhancing drug, meaning it didn't give him any strength. It didn't, his eye to eye coordination wasn't going to make it better. It wasn't the type of PE where it actually gave you an advantage. The type of PE he got called for was for weight cutting. It took all the body fat and the water out of your body. And that's the kind of PE Luis Pantera Naris got caught for the first time. What put the nail in the coffin was that now without that PE, he just couldn't make the weight. And he came in 5 pounds heavier. So they took it as a big disrespect and they banned him. You see? So Connor Ben and people like that, unless you're Saul Canelo Alvarez, then you're good. You can test for a PE substance and it will have no effect on you. You are good. As a matter of fact, the suspension that they give you for testing positive will only be a 6 month suspension. And while on suspension, you can negotiate your next fight. So coming off suspension, you've already trained, negotiated your fights, and 2 weeks after your suspension, you go into your fight. So it was basically like a training camp for Saul Canelo. You were actually never suspended. On paper, they say you were 6 months, but you did everything. Your regular boxing life was taking place while on suspension. If you're Saul Canelo Alvarez, you can do that if you're him. But if you're any man else, while on suspension, you're supposed to follow the rules, meaning you're a suspended fighter. You can't negotiate another fight. You can't talk to any promoter. Those are violations for violating your suspension protocol. They can give you more time on your suspension if they found out you were negotiating behind the scenes. You can't do that, right? And that's the penalty. So after the 6 months, now you got to go into training camp. Now you got to negotiate something. So there's going to be more time, and that's your penalty for. But like Saul did it, he got 6 months. From the day he got suspended, he started negotiating, went into training. Too much, yo, it was ridiculous. He didn't do nothing to him. You see, but you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Boxing is a sport where that you can quickly fall into that mindset. Everyone's doing it. Why don't I do it? Type shit. And doing PEs is not cool at all. I'm here to tell you that there's a PE for everything. For everything. If you want to be faster, there's a PE for that. If you want eye to eye coordination, there's a PE for that. If you want to get stronger, built, there's a PE for that. There's a PE for everything. If you want to lose weight, there's a PE for that. Okay. And some of these PEs that these guys are taking can kill you, can literally kill you, right? Because say you take a PE that enhances your eye to eye coordination, you're going to hit this guy with big shots and you're going to hit him with punches you should have never been hitting him with. You're going to see windows that are this small, they're going to look this big to you. And you're going to be tagging him, bam, 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 bam. And you can kill a fighter like that. He would have never got hit with those kind of shots had you not been on that shit. You see? You ever see like your favorite fighter? Just the fight before that, yo, he was a monster. He was bah bah fast, quick, blah 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 blah. Then all of a sudden he's fighting for a title fight and the testing gets tighter. While he wasn't fighting for a title fight, they were a little laggy gaggy with the testing. In a major world title fight, you see Sebastian Fundora after the Tim Tszyu fight. He comes out of the locker room and he's got that blue tape on his hand with the little gauze. They took blood from him, urine and blood after the fight, just like they did to Tim Tszyu. That's a world title fight, bro. They taking blood from you. Then all of a sudden, the guy comes in a world title fight. Yo, he doesn't look the same, does he? He's not landing those sharp shots like he was. He didn't look as slick. None of that shit. He looked slow as hell, didn't he? Right? Because he's on that shit. And you see it unfold, right? That's what's happening. You think this guy is gonna become a top rank opponent. They're gonna announce the fact that he has a world title fight, and now he's gonna slack off on his training. I mean, it could happen, but that's not what's happening here. And you can tell when some people get off of it, and when some people are on it. You know, Anthony Joshua was always ripped and jacked in the UK. He looked like a freak specimen, right? All of a sudden, he comes out to America. He starts fighting a couple of fights. He doesn't look that jacked, does he? He don't look that defined. He looks like he thinned out a lot, huh? Now he went back to the UK. Let's see how Jack he looked against Francis Ngannou. You feel me? Let's see how So, ha, it's a dirty thing because in every country they don't apply the same methods, and there are certain ways around certain things in boxing. But yo, boxing's not stupid, and they're tightening up on a lot of shit. And as you can see, fighters are getting bagged. Conor Ben has caught himself in a bad situation. He thought because his father's a former world champion, they rich and shit. They out in the UK. That's his home. How dare they test me? Uh-uh. They gonna catch you. They gonna catch one day you're gonna be sitting there chilling. You've been cheating this whole time, and it's just a matter of time. And you don't want to be Pete Rose. You do not want to be Pete Rose. For all you that do not know who Pete Rose is, Pete Rose is an American baseball player. He has some of the greatest batting titles and hitting percentages out of any baseball player in baseball history. He has some records for your ass, but you will never, and I repeat, you will never read his records off in the Hall of Fame. And nor will none of his accolades ever be acknowledged because they caught him cheating. And those are the prices you pay. That's going to follow you throughout your career. No matter when it's all said and done, whenever you get in an argument with a top boxer, a clean boxer that's never popped dirty and was a world champion, he's just going to turn around you and look you in the face and just be like, "Yo, you cheated. They caught you. You popped dirty in the sport." And that's going to end everything right there. But no, you're a cheater. You don't want that shit, bro, attached to your name. Sometimes cheating is not worth it. Or everything you've ever done. When Lance Armstrong was dumb enough to come out and admit that he cheated because everybody in the world, we all know they were on the juice. All those cyclists was on the juice. You want to get a fucking change of heart and get all your medals stripped from you and your name taken out the record books because you woke up one day with what, bro? The guy that was in second place and the guy on third place was on the same shit you were on. It wasn't like you were doing them a favor, right? I don't know about that, right? He got away with it, right? It's crazy. But a cheater's gonna be a cheater. And if you get bagged, bro, you're done, son. You're done. Your legacy is over. There's a lot of female boxers that pop dirty too, a lot of male boxers. It happens all the time. But, fighters like Floyd Mayweather that's never been popped dirty, they walk around with their head high for a reason. Whether they cheated or not, whether you think he cheated, whether you may, nah, he had to have done it. That doesn't fucking matter. What matters is every time they drew blood out of that man's arm and took piss out of him, he came up negative. And that's all I can judge him on. If he got that kind of money where they slick as fuck and they know, and well, then good for you, man. But you protected that shit. But in actuality, I can't find you guilty on something they've never caught you for because I think that's not how life works. The reality is you got to get bagged for it. I know a lot of these dudes is doing some shit, but I listen. When Devin Haney's all over with Snap fucking shirts on, Terence Crawford, Snap, all them dudes. That dude that runs that, bro, he actually came out of prison for inventing that clear shit for athletes, the steroid that used to not be undetectable, that it was fast acting steroid. It came out of your body fat. One of the biggest steroid dealers. He like published books and videos to tell all of how he did it. He comes out of jail. They give him his license back to be a strength and work with athletes. And he didn't just work with boxers. He worked with football players, baseball players, basketball players, tennis players, and everybody knew who that dude was. His trial was ridiculous, right? He comes out, they're like, yeah, what do you think that man's gonna do? He's a fucking chemist. This is what he does. And he's gonna come out and go, yeah, I had to change your heart. And now I run a complete clean program with all the top athletes. I'm teaching them how to do things the right way. Bullshit, bro. When you with that man, it's not a good look, really. It really sometimes won't be because I I I'll tell you who you hang out with. I'll tell you who you are. And all these athletes are not naive to the fact of who that man is and what he's about. So yeah, Section 112, not the greatest, but we're Section 112. You're in Section 112, Road Rage? That's great. I'm in Section 103. You're in Section 112, so I'm in Section 103. I'm a little bit um ahead of you. Oh yeah? Yo, Road Rage, what's up? Listen, I'll go live and I'll be like, I'm here. You'll see me. I have the round one sports talk sweater on. Oh, you think not? You think I ain't showing up with this on? Fuck it, I don't care how hot it is. We getting our promotion out there, right? Right? Yo, Yo, most of us all right, right? That's why we do fuck with this Japanese dude, bro. That's why we do. He's really really a skillful fighter. Um, look, when we talk about fighters, there's a lot of fighters that enter and approach fights the same way all the time. They're what we call one-dimensional fighter. Even though their style is good, it's hard to figure out, but it's just the same fighter. When you have a guy that can switch up to his the fighter that's standing in front of him, not fighting the type of fight that he was just basically, trained to fight. He can adapt, he can make changes. It makes you a very dangerous fighter. You see, um, when you got guys like this, Naoya Inoue, he's on that kind of shit. Mm. You make too many bad reads, you make too many mistakes, and the night can end quick for you. You always have to be on your toes. And when you fight a fighter like him, he's an intelligent fighter. He can be a slugger. He can be a boxing technician. He can be a counter puncher. Um, he truly can switch up and do it all, and he has in all his fights. There are a lot of situations that I've seen him come up against, and a lot of puzzles that I thought were going to give him, you know at least a challenge, you know and he just, man, all his tests he passed with flying colors. When I saw him just beat on people like Emmanuel Rodriguez from Puerto Rico, that was impressive. Donaire, knocking the way he knocked Donaire out in that second fight, that was impressive. The brutal knockout that he knocked out Jason Maloney in New York City, that was just like, that was top level tier shit. Those are the kind of knockouts. When he knocked out Payano with one jab and one straight right, that's all it took. A subtle movement like that, Payano shifted wrong, and that's all you have to do in front of him. It didn't take you to do that the second time, the third time. It didn't take any of that. In the moment, you make a wrong move, he's going to make you pay for it. If you're too relaxed with your jab, if he sees that you're coming in with a double jab, like Jason Maloney, textbook shit, you're taught in the gym to follow up on your jab to back your guy out. But if you don't do it at the right angle, one shift that he made in that fight put him in the position where Maloney was now out of position and he was in position to counter his second jab. Amazing shit. Subtle movements, real small shit, but very effective. That's high level shit in the moment. You know, um, some of us, including myself, you would have to see something one time, two times, and depending at what kind of speed we're talking about here, to try to like really measure your distance and your timing to counter your opponent. This guy doesn't need all that. A few dum 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 dum, and he's already punching you in the face. A lot of guys have tried different methods to fighting a guy like this. They've tried the approach where they allowed him to come forward. They tried the approach where they tried to be the aggressor. They tried the approach where they tried to run, like Paul Butler. They've tried many different things, and he had an answer to every puzzle they put in front of him. He solved them all. When you bring height, strength, brawl, crafty, technician, all of those attributes they brought against this guy, and so far he's passed all those tests. It's truly amazing, and that's what separates him from a lot of different other fighters, such as Terence Crawford, those kind of guys. And I can't wait to see Terence Crawford back in the ring after that fucking massive ass whooping he did to Errol Spence Jr. And who's gonna stand in front of him? You see, Jaron Boots Ennis is his own individual too. We say a lot like, oh, Terence Crawford won't fight Jerron Boots Ennis at 147 because we don't believe he'll make the weight. But if Jerron Boots Ennis wants to fight himself, what's stopping him from moving up to 154? What? What's stopping him? If he wants to pursue that kind of fight, go to 154 and make yourself irrelevant. There's belts at 154 that have been vacated. They've been just sitting there ever since they stripped Jamel Charlo. If Jerron Boots Ennis wanted to get ahead of everybody else, he would have been fighting for the IBF or the WBA. You know what I mean? And making himself irrelevant and being like, "Yo, I'm here. I got a belt." Terence Crawford would definitely fight your ass then. You see? But as long as you're sitting in it and viewing it as, well, now I'm the champion here. Come fight me here. Sometimes you got to dare to be great and move up throughout the divisions when there's no one there for you to really stick around there for. As of right now, the Japanese superstar really doesn't have no business staying in 122. There's no one there for him. Really, there is not. Okay? The 126 opens a new can of worms and new possibilities and new hurdles and new challenges for the Japanese superstar. It's going to make it that much better. Staying at 122 for what? You see? So, Jerron Boots Ennis, okay, you have not defended the 147-pound weight division belt, the IBF. And maybe that's what's bothering him. Maybe he feels like he needs to solidify that first, and then go to 154. Because quiet as it kept, if he was to go to 154 right now, they should not give him credit for that belt. Technically, they might, but you shouldn't really get credit for it. You shouldn't. Because the whole thing about fucking becoming a champion is completing the ritual. It's winning the belt in the ring and then putting the belt around your waist. That the whole world sees, yo, I beat that champion, but you technically didn't beat anybody. They mailed you the belt. You can't really, in my eyes anyway, you can't be considered a world champion. You're gonna have to solidify that shit. You gotta beat somebody. What kind of shit? Hey, you won your belt. Who'd you beat? A fax machine. A fax machine? Yeah, man. Sent me right my belt right over. Who'd you fight after that? No one. I vacated it. I moved up. You ain't no fucking champion. Bro, you might as well bought that shit in a gift shop. You didn't earn it. So depending on that, then Jerron Boots Ennis could also in his future, shit, if you really want to fight those kind of fighters and you built like that, and you're saying that you're that type of fighter, well then shit. Dare to be great. Take an opportunity. You know what I mean? Yo, all right, that's what it is. He fought a fax machine. Yo, it's the fucking truth. You want to buy a sweater? You want to buy a sweater? Bring one with me. Bro, I got an extra one, but I made these myself. I ain't got like no merch or anything. I'm not that big. You know what I mean? One day I'll get there. You know what I'm saying? I still recognize I'm not like, you know, but my family made these for me and shit. I thought they was dope as shit. You know what I mean? But I got another one. I got a white one. Sometimes I switch them up. I put the gray one and I got the white one and shit. Might just bring you down the white one. Fuck it. Right? Because eventually I'm gonna be doing some shit like this. You know what I mean? So yeah, look, I might make some sweaters, bro. Who knows? Now you gave me an idea. I'll be outside a fight selling round one sports talk sweaters. But I said buy your sweater. Yo, in Manchester? Yeah, you used to live out there. What'd you say? Sweater what? Loud tight? Fight? I can't see it because it's behind the heart right now. As soon as it goes up, I'll be able to see your whole text. Yo, but yeah, man, probably make one. Make a couple of them shits and bring them out there with me. You know what I mean? Whole squad, round one sports talk, walking up in the building. What? We in here. Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm definitely looking forward to this. You know, um, I'm hopefully having a good night, you know. Uh, I have to give my wife like 5 good days on vacation because she's gonna have to give me this one day. So it's just if you see me with a white woman and I'm just dragging her like that's her, and then this is me at the fight. You know what I mean? Keep up, let's go, yo. Nah, but she's not into like boxing and shit like that. She's into fitness and shit. Yeah, she works out, whatever. But she ain't in none of this. This I tell her all the time. I'm like, baby, you got a future. Like, yeah, you get in there and take the punches. You know what I mean? I be goofing with her, but nah, she's a trooper. She'll do it with me. You know what I mean? I think I gotta go to one of her concerts when we get back home and shit. You know? Oh, oh man, but yeah, man. I wanted to share that with you guys, man. Um, it's gonna be a great night, man. I wonder who's gonna be there in the attendance, man. I'm excited. You know, your mind starts racing and shit. But enough with that. Enough with that. Enough with that. But yeah, guys. Look, I'll probably go on tonight. I'm gonna do a little bit more research on a couple fights, see what else we could talk about, what's going on in the world of boxing. You guys have been the best. I'm your host, Edwin. Um, and like I said, I'll go on a little bit later and I'll really get up on some of that information on how far I am from my hotel type shit. Might not say exactly where I am, you know what I mean? You know, protect myself too, you know, and then when I'm out there, whatever, and see if I can hook up with any of you guys, you know. I don't mind hooking up with you guys, you know what I mean? And we'll see what we can do. We can chop it up. They got bud on the island. They gotta have some like weed shops or something, right? Is weed illegal in Puerto Rico? Do they got bud shops, places? I gotta go see. Might have to visit some of those. Hey, listen, anyway, fight fans, you guys have been amazing. And like I said, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports TV. You guys have been the best. I've been your